Welcome back to the second part of the lesson. Now, students, let's see units of time and how to convert units of time. Now, remember 60 seconds make 1 minute, 60 minutes make 1 hour. You probably had this from your year 1 or year 2, and you've been able to memorize this now. Now, let's try to convert from one unit of time to another. Now, you need to keep to these rules. If you have these rules at the back of your mind, you will always be able to conveniently convert from one unit of time to another. The first rule is identify the units of time. The units of time in the question that you're asked. Identify first the units of time. The second thing is when you're converting from a smaller unit to a bigger unit, you divide. And when you're converting from a bigger unit to a smaller unit, you multiply. I'll explain again. Identify first the units of time in the question. For example, if you're told convert 50 minutes to seconds, what are the two units of time in question? Minutes and seconds. So you go to the unit of time charts and see where you have minutes and seconds. There we have 60 seconds make 1 minute. That's where we have seconds and minutes together. Then once you know the rule of conversion, check if you're converting from smaller to bigger units or bigger to smaller unit. Which is the smaller unit and which is the bigger? Of course, the smaller units between second and minute is the second. Between minutes and hour, minute is smaller. Between days and week, which comes first? Days will come before the week. Between the weeks and the year, which comes first? First we'll have the weeks before we have the year. Then we have 365 days in 1 year. Days will come before the year. So the smaller unit comes before the bigger one. So always identify which one is the smaller unit and which is the bigger unit in your question so that you will know if you have to divide or multiply. Now we can have an example. It says convert 7 hours 15 minutes to minutes only. The question has hours and minutes, but it is telling us to convert to minutes. So what do? Look for, in the unit of time chart, look for the one that contains hour and minutes. Let's see the one that contains hour and minutes. That's 60 minutes make 1 hour. That's the one that has minutes and hour in the chart. So now we know this is our standard for converting. 60 minutes make 1 hour. If 60 minutes make 1 hour, then how many minutes will be in 7 hours? We don't need to bother ourselves about the 15 minutes because that is in minutes already. We only need to convert the 7 hours, then we add the 15 minutes to it. So here, we're converting from bigger to smaller. Don't forget, we're converting from a bigger unit, that is hour, to minutes, smaller units. So it's bigger to smaller. In that case, we multiply. So 7 multiplied by 60, which is our standard for conversion. 7 multiplied by 60 is 420 minutes. Of course, I told you don't bother about the 15 minutes because it is already in minutes. So add it only to your converted 7 hours, and that gives 435 minutes. It's quite easy. Now check your student book and your workbook to see if you still have more exercises to complete, and using this formula you will be able to complete every one of the questions. Now on unit 2 we saw how to use timetables. Of course, you know that a timetable shows you a schedule of time, probably for flight, for bus, for a train, or even for your studies at home, or it could even be for studies in school. Remember, we have a timetable in school, you know, when it's math period, you know, when it's English and science, and so on. Now, let's look at this timetable we have here as an example. This timetable is showing us the options of bus trip that we could use to move around Manchester City. We have bus 1, bus 2, and bus 3. The bus moves from the bus station down to the cinemas. That is the start point from the bus station. The end point is the cinemas. So it moves every day like that. Now you want to see how you can plan your trip. And so you look at the timetable of the bus station and you see which one fits in to your timing. Now we have some questions here. If you wish to enjoy the shortest trip around town, which of the buses would you travel in? You simply go to the bus chart or the timetable, maybe on their website, and look at the buses available. Then you look at the start time and the end time. For bus 1, the start time is 13:05. What does this mean? 13:05 means that is the 13th hour of the day. 13:05 hours. The 13th hour, 5 minutes of the day, or 5th minute of the day. That means on the 12-hour time it will be 1:05 because another 12 hour for PM has started counting. So this bus 1 starts or moves by 1:05. Look at where 1:05 is going to be. This is where the minute hand is going to be, 1:05. The bus is going to get to its final destination by 2 o'clock. So now let's count how many minutes from 1:05 to 2 o'clock. Now we start counting from 2. The interval between each time is 5 minutes. So from 1, 5 minutes to 2, then down to 12. Between 1 and 12, we have 55 minutes. You count, you see that we have 55 minutes. Between 1 and 2, 5 minutes. 3 and 4, 5 minutes. 5 and 6, 5 minutes. On and on like that. So in total, we're going to have 55 minutes. Now, when the time again, okay, yeah, it says 2 o'clock. All right, good. By 2 o'clock, it's going to be 55 minutes. So bus 1 has 55 minutes. What about bus 2? Bus 2 takes off by 1:15. Here is where the minute hand will be. So let's count from 1:15. And it says it gets to its destination by 2:15. I don't think we even need to count. 1:15 to 2:15 is exactly 1 hour. What about bus 3? Bus 3 takes off by 1:30. That's 13:30 hours. This is where the takeoff time is from, and it ends on 2:10. That's 14:10. 2:10. So let's count from here to 2. Then that we'll have 10 minutes to 2. 10 minutes to 2 is going to be on 2. All right, so let's count from here. From 6 here to 12 will be 30 minutes. Then from 12, when it will be 2 o'clock already, to 2:10 or 14:10 will be another 10 minutes. So 30 plus 10 is 40. If the first bus has 55 minutes, the second bus has 1 hour, and the third bus has 40 minutes. The best one to have the shortest trip in is bus 3. So it's just 40 minutes, and that's the best trip we will have. Now, the second question says the supermart at city center closes for break at 1:50. This is 13:50. Now you understand this. What is the best bus to catch if you have to pick up groceries there? That's at the city center, the supermarket at the city center. Now let's see city center for bus 1, bus 2, and bus 3. We must be there before 1:50 or 13:50 hours. So let's see which one of the times is going to be before the, or which one of the times the bus will get there before 13:50? Bus 1 will get there at 13:40. Bus 2 will get there at 13:45, and bus 3 will get there at 14:40. Now the best option here, we have two options, 13:40 and 13:45. That's bus 1 and 2. But what about getting down from the bus and walking down to the city center or walking down into the supermarket? Will it take you more than 5 minutes? Why don't we use bus 1 so we can be on the safe side and we're already in there picking up our groceries? So that's before 13:50 hours, when they'll go on break and they'll shut the store. So the best option now is bus 1. Now I want to see a movie. You want to see a movie? The movie starts by 14:10. Which of the timetables are we going to check now? Cinemas. That's the end point, cinemas. The movie starts by 14:10. So what bus will you catch? A movie starting by 14:10, it starts. That means you're already seated in the movies or in the cinemas by 14:10. If you go for bus 3, 14:10 exactly, you'll just be getting to the cinemas, trying to go into the to the room or the theater where the movie is taking place. So it's not advisable. Of course, 14:15 is already past time. So the best option again will be bus 1, where you get there by 1400 hours and you have about 10 minutes to walk in there and do a couple of things, settle down for the movie. So that's the best option. Now you understand what it means to read timetables, and of course you can make one for yourself as well. Okay, so now we have three parts of the questions. I have question 1, question 2, and question 3. In all, we have 15 questions. I'll give you instructions on how to answer the questions, and then you'll take a picture of the answers and send them to me on Class Dojo. Now, please note that if you write an answer wrongly and you want to change it, do not strike out and write on top of it. Erase the one you have cancelled or you do not need anymore, and then write the correct answer. It is important for you to write your answers neatly. This is very important. If the answer is not neat or I cannot see the answers because you crossed it out, then I will mark it wrong. So please make sure that your test is very neat. Now here is question 1. You write the 24-hour time of these 12-hour times. Okay, now you'll need to pause the video because we have 3 slides where the questions are. Here, after I have finished giving the instruction, then you will need to pause the video, write out your answers. Now you write question 1, A. Then write the 12-hour time and write the equivalent 24-hour time. For example, A, 4:55 p.m. equal to, then you write the 24-hour time. B, 12 a.m. equal to, then you write the 24-hour time till you get to F. Okay, so you can now pause the video so that you can answer these questions before you go to the next one. Now here is question 2. What you only need to do is just draw the hand of the clock, the minute and the hour hand on the clock. Okay, please make sure that you make the minute hand longer than the hour hand so that I can understand what you have drawn. And also the times have already been given, so just draw the hour hand and the minute hand. That's all you need to do. You can now go ahead and pause the video so that you can complete question 2. And finally, question 3, you're to convert the time to seconds only. All right, so just exactly the way the questions are is how you will answer. A, 1 minute 21 seconds equal to, then you write the answer. Or then until you get to E. Don't forget to write all your answers neatly. Take a picture of your answers and send them on Class Dojo. This is not a homework. It's a test that you do immediately after you listen to the video. Okay, so I'm expecting all your answers today.